Hey yo, how's it going? Everything is going great for me, and just a little update on all of that. I've been just keeping up with the 10,000 steps a day. Honestly, really haven't been doing the yoga so much, but I've been just really trying to focus on the diet. I think I am, now that it's the weekend. I'm going to try to kind of relax, get the house cleaned up, and get some good yoga routines in, calisthenics routines in. Because as much as I like to cut, there's an overall effect here. There's the way that you lose the weight can actually change the way that you actually look. I've seen people actually like completely stall their weight loss because they didn't like the way that their skin settled in. And I've got to say, like, there's a couple different things that can really affect it. One of my main things is doing yoga and just like facial massages, and you want to get into it with your neck and your head, so I'm always like stretching out these and giving myself little self massages on my neck and stuff like that. It really helps, especially before bed. Another habit that I like to get into is dry brushing. I do this sometimes before a shower and sometimes just before bed or when I wake up in the morning. It's just really great for exfoliating your skin and keeping it just very nice and soft, especially as I'm in my mid-40s. It's starting to kind of like be a thing. I've always kind of tried to wear lotion, and in high school I used to do fun things like, taking milk baths or honey baths or something like that. I do weird stuff like if I eat like an apple or a banana, you might catch me in the corner later kind of rubbing it on my face if I'm home by myself, because it kind of soothes. Like the banana peel is really soothing. Pineapple is highly exfoliating. Apples can be really helpful for exfoliating your lips. Like if you're out on the go and your lips are dehydrated, just like eat an apple and just kind of like rub them on the apple and it kind of helps your lips hydrate. But being in my mid-40s, I've started to realize that I do actually benefit from having more products. So part of the whole quitting smoking cigarettes and even quitting drinking, although that was definitely just like getting a little old anyway. I decided I needed to start kind of upgrading my facial skincare, and just different things like that. And Costco's honestly been another really big help for that. Now, you guys, if you're watching this, I've got like 3 followers and I have not getting any kind of endorsements for this, nor would I ever accept an endorsement for a product that I wouldn't absolutely just pick up on the shelf for myself. I would probably have found it myself. I'm not the kind of person who likes to be approached with anything. I just don't like being sold to. So when I find products that I like and I share them, that's just because I also don't gatekeep. So here's a couple of my favorite lotions that I've picked up as kind of a reward for quitting smoking. I mean, I was spending like $30 a week on those vapey pens. So certainly these Costco lotions are paid for. But here's the first one I want to start off with. This one is amylactin lotion. Now, this is really good for general skin exfoliation. So if you're talking about having your skin is kind of going through a transition period, something that can really help is just like staying highly moisturized. But this is also an exfoliant. So if you can put this on areas of your body that are just not exposed to the sun very often, like I keep this off of obviously my face, my chest, my arms, but I do wear pants all the time, so I could put it all over my legs. I put it all over my abdomen and everything. And what this is good for is kind of keeping that skin kind of freshened up for the fact that it might see a little bit of sagging. The other thing is doing toning exercises will definitely prevent sagging skin, because again, your skin hangs based on how your fascia behind it is. If I'm sitting like in really bad posture, I can have, saggier skin than if I actually pull my abs together. And you can kind of feel it where it just sort of pulls everything together. And like, yeah, it's a little bit, but I just lost 10 pounds, so whatever. Now, as you kind of increase your posturing, that kind of skin sagging can actually start to go away. I've also worked on my no leaning policy because I've got the scoliosis. So I've just been really focusing on making sure if I'm standing in one place, keeping my feet at a nice level And then I kind of like try to travel that up to my hips and like make my hips kind of level and also like front to back level. And it feels kind of weird, but I'm kind of trying to stand better through my feet, legs, and hips when I'm standing, and I'm noticing a lot less back pain as well. But all of that kind of stuff is going to change how your body hangs on itself, so to speak, you know. And it doesn't have to be saggy at any age. You can still tone up and get all of that. It's going to come from muscle stretching. It's going to come from toning. It's going to come from, you know, taking care of your skin and things like that. So if you notice those things, it's not because you need to stop losing weight. It's because you just need to take care of the rest of the weight, the body. You know what I'm saying? You're not just weighing one number or weighing another number. Your self-care improving is going to change the way that that weight looks on you. So moving forward, this is going to be our one outlier. Trader Joe's. I get this. It's just this nice little antioxidant facial serum, and I get it at Trader Joe's pretty regularly. I like it. Now it's a little clingy. Everything else came from Costco. It goes pretty basic. We got our Hydro Boost from Neutrogena. This thing has just been a solid 9 out of 10 as far as facial creams. And it goes really, really well with some of this more Korean style care that I have. It's deep penetrating and stuff. But I've also, everything else I got is pretty into the Korean skincare. So I got this Mixsoon bean essence paste. This stuff is very good for a nice gentle exfoliant. Again, you want to make sure you're keeping your face shielded from the sun with this stuff, but it helps reduce fine lines and gets moisturizers deeper in. We've got this ceramic milk ampule, which I was just picked up at Costco, and this is by TirTir. Now, they have a lot of products, but this it was like $19.99 per pack, and there were 2 packs, but I'm talking like it had double of everything in it on top of that. So we're talking just like a lot of facial product for like $40. It was nothing. This toner is probably one of the best toners I've ever tried in my 44 years. It's the Milk Skin Toner by TirTir. That was also very good. And it comes with this moisturizer, this ceramic cream. This stuff, I would put it right on par with my Neutrogena, but honestly, I would use either of those. I've been using this sort of for like all over face, and then I've been kind of dotting this more under my eyes just for like an extra hydration boost. And then there is one more that I've been using, but I'll be honest, it's on the fence. I got this this L'Oreal Midnight Cream, and I'm gonna give it a 5. I've tried other lotions before. I've tried their night creams before. I'm not a fan of the smell. And for me, that's a big thing. All my other facial products really don't have a smell at all. This has a smell, and I really am not a fan of that. It also feels very heavy, which I normally can appreciate that in a night cream. They're supposed to be a little bit more of a mask, but I feel like I get a better actual skin barrier block by just using like the Vaseline with the cocoa butter in it. You know, something just more basic than that. I really didn't feel like there was any additional benefits to using this over just a thick cream on my face. I really feel like my day products have been a lot more beneficial. So I am going to go back and try the Rock products because I've never tried those before, and why not? It just seems like another good cream, and I'll just kind of keep you updated if I find something to replace old boy hair. But I don't know. This just feels like grandma's facial cream, and I might be old enough to be a grandma, but I'm not necessarily falling for everything. I'm still going to use all of these, but it might end up on my legs. So that's that. And other than that, things have been going pretty well. The other thing was, I tackled a restaurant yesterday. I decided that because we were going to like one of my favorite burger places, Divine Bovine, and I really love their Brussels sprouts with bacon, and it's got like this maple syrup sauce and all this, but I also love their burgers. And so what I did is I had them put a burger patty with the Brussels sprouts, and that was absolutely divine. I had it with their lovely pink lemonade and half iced tea. Frankly, that's all I was practically able to eat yesterday until like I kind of snacked around at dinner, but I had leftovers that I kind of ate for dinner. And that sort of, I mean, like I said, I always snack around. So you always have to remember I had like a Cadbury cream egg. I had like a plate full of, chocolate chips. I had a piece of my sourdough bread with butter. I had a pack of Welch's fruit snacks, and I almost do almost every single night. So like my snack habits have continued. There's a reason why I'm not like on 1,000 calories a day. Like you shouldn't think that when you watch this. What it is I allow myself to kind of have that binge-eaty kind of night, and I try to have a better clean day. And if I don't eat until lunch and then I eat a small lunch, my stomach is much smaller, so that a small dinner ends up being so much more filling that I even had to kind of almost abandon the 2 to 5 rule, and I was still losing weight, especially in the beginning. So now that I'm kind of at like where I naturally plateau when I'm doing workout exercises, I feel like I know that I need to actually amp it up. So it's probably time to get into my calisthenics if I want to see the weight not hang on me in a weird way that I won't like. And it's also probably time to start being a little bit more strict on that 2 to 5 part. I've been doing pretty good during the day, but at night I'm still having these kind of explosive food runs that aren't quite necessary. I haven't been totally focusing on the tea and everything. With ADHD, it feels like nothing's consistent, but we definitely keep trying, and we know that the more consistent, the more we do, the more we can be grateful for, the more it'll work. Like I said, just keep getting back up on the horse. I don't think I ever stick to any routine completely, but if I kind of have like a rotating schedule of good things that I do for myself, and I generally try to attack as many of those in a day as I can, at least I'm doing something. And I feel like it generally gets me better places than doing nothing every day. I've seen myself slug that out. It wasn't really all that great. So anyway, this video is running a little long for my taste. So cheers to your journey, cheers to your skin, and cheers to all your happiness.